Yo, folks, welcome back to Let's Play Call of Duty 1. Glad to see you all back here. And this time we are marching through Warsaw in our mad dash to Berlin. This is a very interesting part of World War II that nobody really talks about too much. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how it's portrayed here. And joining me as usual is my old buddy.
Hey everybody, it's Last Robot Guy here. I'm same boat as Cool Guy. I admittedly I don't really know much about this conflict myself, but what I do understand is that this is the point where Russia was basically just steamrolling their way towards Berlin. And yeah, it was probably at this point a lot of upper people in the German army were really, I mean, they probably regretted it earlier, but they were really regretting taking a swing at Russia at this juncture.
They really were, and it's very interesting because while Hitler was saying things like, if we just kick the door in, the entire rotten structure of the USSR will start coming down, his generals were much more hesitant about it, and they were basically just like, we've got one shot at this, and if we blow our shot, this is going to come back at us hard. It was actually his chief of staff, or Army General Chief of Staff, Franz Armin, who said the Russian Colossus has been underestimated by us. Whenever a dozen divisions are destroyed, the Russians replace them with another dozen. And it's actually kind of interesting how much this mirrors a few Japanese generals' thoughts on America entering the war. Isoroku Yamamoto is often quoted as characterizing the attack of Pearl Harbor as, I fear all we have done is to awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve, after he heard that the American carriers aircraft carriers weren't at Pearl Harbor, so they didn't get sunk.
Yeah, and history has proved both those assessments fairly correct.
Yeah, so it's really a very dynamic point in an already dynamic war. So let's go ahead and get in there. I encourage everybody not to get their hopes up too much about being walked through Warsaw on this. It's really just a fairly generic factory and rail yard.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, aside from the fact everything isn't quite as bombed out as previously you've told me. Then again, like, as we've proven, we don't really know too much about the difference between France and the Alps, so...
Well, I did. I think you've got a little bit more slack on that. An interesting point here is that we are now technically the squad leader of this area, so we have no invincible allies because we are Sergeant Moody.
Blast this door open! I hear that our generals are racing to Berlin.
Da, for the women and the French campaign.
General we get to Berlin last time. We sent for re-education.
We'll be re-educated with them if the NKVD hears us.
Oh God!
No, they threw one back. Well,
yes, they did.
Unfortunately, they didn't throw back one of the other 500 that you threw through the doorway, so...
That's how you do a clearing in this game.
That's not.
That's not how you do a clearing.
Except it worked. That's the worst part. Oh man, I have an absolute love of ragdolls. Like, just any game where someone just goes like death animation flying like that is just, it's my favorite game.
The even cooler thing is that none of these are actually true ragdolls in the way we're used to them. Those were static animations that were just like, oh, what happens when a dude gets blown the hell up? This is what happens, and somebody painstakingly animated that.
Yeah, I mean, you get that in a lot of the older games where someone's like running down like off a ledge or something and you shoot them in midair and they start to collapse and land on their back and are in like a death pose before they hit the ground.
Granate!
It's interesting to note that the German armaments are getting somewhat realistically better this late in the game. As the war keeps going on, you'll be seeing more MP40s and more MP44s, because the German army was legitimately getting better about supplying their people with that. Not nearly as good as you would think playing this game, but a lot better anyway.
And they're still putting all their medkits on shelves, which is nice.
It's very organized, makes it very easy to find them all. These little areas terrify me.
What, the open windows?
Yes. It's a real two-edged sword because it's a really cool set piece because you get to snipe out of here and that's really fun, and you see, you know, new regiments of Soviet troops coming in, and that's really fun because it makes you feel like you're in a big assault, which you are, but, you know, by the same token, you can just get flanked so easily.
Also, the last thing you want to be on the lowest spot on.
Yep.
I got just posing.
I don't die too much in, you know, these later levels, but the one time I died while recording was during this area, purely because both of the people up there on that walkway are armed with MP44s, and they can just sort of casually look at you and murder you.
Killing with a glance.
Über die rechte Flanke!
Also, this one is great.
Never dance again. Possibly because he's about to be shot in the head and killed.
Fire!
I bet they're wishing they had actually rolled those tanks out.
They get that idea a little bit later. Quit spoiling the surprise.
So no one thinks to disable the tanks while they're passing.
Well, they also roll out all the tanks.
Again, that might have helped from.
For what it's worth, part of the non-tanky thing can be explained away as, you know, not having qualified tank crews on hand. I mean, there's kind of a big difference between a tank operator and, you know, general infantry.
Oh, right down the stairs.
This is my terrified face you're seeing right here. There's all this cool stuff going on outside, but am I looking at it? No, because I'm scared somebody's gonna shoot me in the ass. Also, that dude ducked my sniper rifle bullet, and I'm angry.
He's stupid like a bee. Explosions and everything. Yeah, you're right. It's a very good sense of being extremely dynamic, and the bigger events are unfolding.
They also do a really good job with your squad as well, because the AI here is extremely aggressive. I mean, you noticed a little bit back that they decided, I mean, even just right now, Nickton is up there just like all sorts of overextended. Which is fine by me, because I'm the squad leader, and I'm not supposed to die.
He is clearing the way by making sure that enemy bullets are wasted on him. And there we go.
Also, I continue to be awful with grenades.
I think that's just grenades in video games. I think a lot of people who are good at these games, you'll always just see them having like a horrible time with like girders and grenades. And they say that as you shoot a girder away.
Shooting it away, my ass, that thing can stop a sniper rifle bullet. Don't ask me how, it just can.
Schutzwinde! To your right! Runter! Granate!
There we go. Solved that problem.
Ah, dear. Got ourselves some nice old propaganda posters.
Thank God for my squad.
Yeah, these guys are doing some beastly work.
Schutz nehmen!
Then you've got these slightly less difficult to implement grenades.
Watch out!
God damn it!
They really know you way too well.
Yeah, they're starting to learn.
Still, I would never want to be the guy that's throwing the grenade back. You do that out of desperation more than anything, and the realization there's no way else you can dive to.
The worst thing for the player is that, you know, I can't do that. I can't throw it back. So when an enemy does that, that's all I'm left with, is running the hell away.
I'm trying to think of the game. There's a few games that do let you do that. I'm just trying to think of what they are, and I can't quite recall.
Oh, the later Call of Duties do let you do this. I know that Call of Duty 4 does. However, even Call of Duty 2 does not, which is a horrible oversight because all of the basic functions in Call of Duty 4 were around in Call of Duty 1, or Call of Duty 2, rather.
In a way, this highlights the big difference between the dam level and this level, in that you're still moving through essentially closed corridors and everything like that, but you've got your squad with you, and there's actually other things happening around you, so it seems a lot less isolated, I suppose. You know, it comes.
There's also a lot less static noise from, you know, somebody refusing to shut the goddamn hell up on a loudspeaker.
Hey, there's new buddies. Replace the old buddies.
This campaign does a really good job of routinely giving you a couple more soldiers to deal with. Though, in that particular case, it's ridiculously easy to blast your reinforcements before you realize that they're reinforcements.
We never did find out what happened in Pavlov's house.
We did not, but we're all still here, so I presume we haven't broken the space-time barrier.
We have to wait till the end of the game to find out whether or not, like, Stalin's a robot or something.
Maybe not. Maybe we have broken the space-time barrier with the way that dude was kind of like headbutting the wall.
Well, it was either headbutt the wall or headbutt your bullets. It gave him a little bit of time.
First one, then the other.
Look out behind you!
Ah, now into the snow.
At least for a moment, I feel so exposed right here. And there's why!
Yeah. Every door, every corner, a grenade.
Hell yes! I mean, my only other option is to go around just using my SMG like crazy. And do I look like I'm made of PPSH bullets?
I bet Filichenko was wishing.
They were diving all in front of me. I mean, I couldn't exactly support them there.
Yeah, no, that's the worst thing in any game you play, when like NPCs stand in front of you, which is actually like. Sorry, it looked like he just like bumped into you and you scared the shit out of him. That's like a criticism against more recent like Modern Warfare games, like Call of Duty Modern Warfare games, and the other like games trying to emulate them. Essentially, you spend a lot of time waiting for everybody else to go forwards, and then at certain points, if everyone's standing around and you try to go forwards, you just pretty much die.
Yeah, this game is very much like that. You try to move forward without your squad, and it hurts a lot. Yeah. Fortunately, you know, I mean, generally speaking, they do a very good job of handling that, and particularly in this mission, they do a very good job of handling that.
At the very least, you can still choose to do it. I mean, in other games, it's like, I think Homefront, I just love the way he peeked around that corner. It's like, how's it going? But it's like, Homefront, a big issue from what I saw of a lot of gameplay videos is just that you couldn't even, like, go through a door without, like, letting every single other NPC you would go through first. It was like, you're supposed to be the main hero of the story, and instead you're like, the guy who gets to go through last.
Follow Freeman! Oh, wait. This railyard is ends up being one of the multiplayer maps in the game, and my memory serves me as it being one of the favorite ones just because of how friggin' intense it can be. And it's so easy to get flanked around all these boxcars. I also really do like the short exchanges that they have with the Soviet soldiers here, in the sense, I mean, they don't drive it in that, oh, everybody hates everything or anything like that, but they do give a good context of what it can be to work like in the Soviet army. Would they stop if they did know that they were shelling us? Hard to say. Whereas, you know, if you were in the American or British campaigns, nobody would have ever had that conversation.
Making spurious comments, disparaging comments about about the artillery.
So, just because our AI allies are here and aggressive, that doesn't mean they're terribly bright. You will notice that they're both dead now.
They died so that you would live.
They just gone around the way I had, you know, keeping in their cover. By the way, you remember that idea you gave them? Dickhead.
It's me, I'm the Nazi commander.
At least I get to play with a bunch of Panzerfausts.
The big box of infinite Panzerfausts.
This is like God's greatest gift in this game.
I bet they're really regretting living down there.
You will also notice that with my Mosin Nagant, once I finally managed to pick it back up, the ammo has managed to reproduce asexually while I've had it down. I do not know how this happened.
Well, the thread has talked about the Mosin being a strange and mystical being that has existed since time immemorial, and and my someone linked to one of those old sort of sites with lots of jokes about it, talking about like the wars that AKs and ARs have been in, and then it says the Mosin has fought itself for decades and has won every single conflict.
I really like the one on recoil, where the Mosin Nagant's recoil is often used to relocate shoulders that were dislocated on the previous shot. I put that in the update for those of you who didn't see that, so go look at the post.
Yeah, I do so love gun humor, even though I'm not much of a fan of guns in general.
It's really much like industry humor, only you don't necessarily need to have a technical degree to understand it. Oh, by the way, for what it's worth, all of those shells dropping around in those little holes, those can hit you. And they hurt a lot!
Well, you know, it wouldn't be support if it wasn't capable of unsupporting you.
I mean, fortunately, they only ever hit in those little holes, so it's not really that big of a deal. But if you're running back for health or something like that, and all of a sudden you hear "eeeew," and then you blow up, it can get kind of annoying.
Really little. It's like you're lying on the ground on fire. I'm annoyed.
I was actually really surprised at how well I did clearing this place out with my sniper rifle. You know, I'm glad I did, because I don't have any grenades to help me out anymore.
I'll just, like, try and chain that Panzerfaust box to your back and just drag it for the rest of the level.
Dude, I wish. I'd drop both guns for that. I'd just be packing both Panzerfaust in both hands. Nervous.
I thought you were just assaulting the propaganda.
Nervous.
It's probably just me, but whenever I see those particular health kits, I think they're mailbags.
They kind of look like that, don't they? A mailbag for blood packs. That is what I think they are. This is now canon.
You're reading someone else's mail and it makes you feel really good about yourself.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty short level because we're really just going into a holding pattern until the next level, which is probably the greatest one in the game because we get to drive a T-43 tank.
Oh, hello.
It is fun as hell.
Still alive? Well, good. That's good. Good for you. We must get out of here, quickly, before the artillery starts again.
Our artillery.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it kind of sounds like it's still going there, buddy, but you know what? Fine, it's stopped for now. Yeah, that is unfortunately one of the least flavorful maps in the game, but it's still a really fun one, and they still do a really good job of bringing you into the war, which is something that had never been done before Call of Duty 1 came out, really. Medal of Honor and all like that. They did it quite well, but they didn't do it like this. They didn't have a bunch of scripted events really pulling you in and making you feel like, you know, a cell in a bigger body.
I just love, oh, you're alive, good for you. Good for you. It's just like, wow. Even the privates are smack talking me here. What's going on?
Yeah. I will say that's the biggest bit of flavor that this level has that's really interesting, because all of the chatter is overshadowed by this, for lack of a better term, just cold fear that everybody seems to have in the Soviet army. The little chatter up front was just like, our generals are racing to Berlin. Yeah, we should probably shut up before we get re-educated too. Oh, you're still alive? Well, I suppose that's better than the alternative.
I was honestly just waiting for him to like take a little sheet of paper out with like a gold sticker on it and just put it on your chest.
Well, if we get insulted like that next time, I'm sure you guys will hear about it. So until then, I've been Cool Guy.
I've been the Lost Robo Guy.
Take good care of yourselves and all those you love, folks.